I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and at time of filming, I have not yet decorated my house for Christmas. I'm just not inspired yet. So I thought today we would pop to the garden centre. We're going to go to Woburn Sands, which is near where I live. It's got a big garden centre there. It's got a couple of big garden centres there, but the one we're going to today is called Frost's, which I think is a chain, but I'm not sure if it's a national chain. I know they've got a few locally, but I don't know how sort of wide they go. Now, I don't know if they have garden centres in other places in the world or not. So just to let you know, a garden centre used to be a place where you would go to get seeds and tools and plants for your garden. And now it's basically a department store for really bougie people. They sell a bit of everything from like cosmetics and skincare to homeware things and garden furniture, as well as plants and seeds and tools and things. But at Christmas time especially, they go all out for Christmas. Quite a few of them have like ice skating rinks or Santa's grottos, things like that. And so the one near me is massive on the Christmas stuff. So we're going to go there. We're going to get some ideas for decorating my house today. And so we arrived at Frost's Garden Centre, which had a giant reindeer outside and it was looking very festive. It was quite difficult to film in here today because for some reason there was a school trip happening in the garden centre at the same time. But I love to look around and look at the little lights and all the things that I could never afford or wouldn't want even if I could afford them. I'm looking at you, inflatable snowman. That is not really my style. But I love the little twinkly lights. Look how magical they look. I just can't get over how pretty that is. I also can't imagine the electric bill though. I mean, we are in an energy crisis right now and that must be really expensive to do your house up like this. Look at all the trees though. I felt like I was in an enchanted forest with price tags on it. It was beautiful. They do put my twiggy little tree to shame, it has to be said. Now these, I'm not sure if they're hangover from Halloween or if these are just some toys that the garden centre sell, but they had set them up like this. It looked very cool. And again, it was drawing a lot of children in. So I wandered round to the bit where they've sort of set up these little rooms to give you an idea of what your things might look like if you decided to decorate in this way. And my husband said to me at this point, why are we here? We cannot afford anything that's here. I'm not buying any of this stuff. And I said, I'd just like to get ideas so that I can get a look of the aesthetic from things that I've made myself at home. It never quite turns out as grand as this. Look at the little cute polar bears. I wanted the little cute polar bears, but they were very pricey polar bears. But I did like the whole winter wonderland look, and I might try and recreate that myself this year. When I've recorded this video, I haven't yet decorated my house. So I might go for this sort of Snow Queen theme because I do love the Snow Queen and I kind of want a throne in my house. Now, I absolutely adored all of these and I'm thinking I might come and get some for my jug for when I take the holly out. I did not love those. They are too shiny, but I really like these sort of naturally looking decorations. And so I want to see how much of sort of bringing the outside in I can do. Those look so soft and they felt so horrid. But I loved everything in this little section. I'm going to have to get some poinsettias at some point. I will probably kill them. We've got the lovely little hanging decorations. These little gnome things seem to be everywhere. And I'm thinking that I could probably make something like that. I got drawn into this area because look at the size of that Christmas tree. They really go all out with decorating the whole store at Christmas. And I think that that's a big part of why they make their money because people bring their children here just to look at the Christmas decorations. They do have a Santa's grotto here at Frost's. Now, my daughter used to work there helping out with the elves. And although it is really expensive to see Santa here, it probably is worth it because they get so much for the money. I think it costs about £70 to go and see Santa, but you get a proper present like a Lego set or something like that, something you can choose. And you make cookies and you sing with the elves and all sorts of things. And look at those gorgeous little gingerbread men. I love them. I was very tempted by these jars. But I do have lots of jars. I don't have jars like that though, and I'm very tempted to go back and get some. But I don't need them. Don't let me go and get them. But I wanted them. They were gorgeous. I love these big bell baubles as well. I'm not sure if they were for sale or not, or whether they were just in store as decoration. But look, we've got Roland Rat, absolute star of the Muppets Christmas Carol. He's my favourite. They've got some of the workers there as well, but Roland Rat was the one that I really wanted. And I might come back after Christmas to see if he's discounted. Now, in the centre of the store, they have this entire Christmas town set up. They sell every part of this, but even the tiny little things are like £200 or something. It's ridiculous. But can you imagine being the grandparent that has set all this up in your house? That would be so amazing, wouldn't it? I would love to be able to afford to do this. They've got an entire town that is probably bigger than the town that this garden centre is in the garden centre in miniature. And I adore miniature things anyway, but miniature things that move, they just tickle my brain in such a way that I was here for ages filming them. It just all looks so festive with the fake snow and the little carousels and the little fun fairs. I just absolutely adored it. And the very cool thing about this little area is that they've got this plastic dome in the middle, which I will show you properly in a second, but they've got a crawl space under the table where children can crawl through, pop their heads into the little clear dome and have a 360 view of the whole Christmas town from the middle of it, which I just think is brilliant. And so I can totally understand why a lot of parents bring their kids here just to have a look around. Here's the crawl space where you can crawl in, and then there's the little dome where you can stick your head out. My husband was trying to convince me to go in it at this point. I said, no, that is for the little children. And then a little child did pop into it, so I had to move away because I'm trying very hard not to film all the children that are around today. Again, we've got another Christmas tree section here. These are more of the pre-lit and sort of started to be decorated trees, which I loved. They've got all the Christmassy food type decorations here as well. I like those. I'm wondering if I could make some similar with actual fruit, but whether that would go mouldy, I don't know. And they've even got the Christmas crackers that are in Christmas themed, and they've got all sorts of toys and things here. Now, usually garden centres contain plants. These were the only ones that I managed to find today in the indoor part of the garden centre. I think originally garden centres were just plants, seeds and garden tools, but this one expanded into toys and things like that. And now plants are quite a small part of what they do, but they've got all of these very overpriced toys and the very traditional kind of toys as well, like your marbles and your marble runs and little spinning tops and wooden toys and things like that that are your more sort of traditional presents that are gorgeous. And these are absolutely beautiful editions of classic books. I could have spent all day here looking at those. We've got Christmassy bath stuff as well. I think normally they do other kinds of bath stuff and things like that. And they've also got these escape room in an envelopes, which really intrigued me. I don't think we've got enough people to play the game at the moment, so I didn't get any, but I'm seriously considering it. They've got some educational type toys as well. This little globe you can spin, and they've got Christmas crockery. And can you imagine being rich enough to have tableware that is just for Christmas? Maybe you are that rich. What's that like? I fell in love with these lamps, especially this blue one. Oh, it's so beautiful. I dropped a lot of hints, but I don't think my husband picked any of them up. So we headed back out of this very, very festive exit way to go to the market side of things. Now, there is always a market here, but at this time of year, they do sell things that are a little bit more unusual. It's normally just your standard apples, bananas, oranges, things like that. But they've got a few more sort of exotic things in at the moment. And then inside, they sell all sorts of food here. It is ridiculously overpriced, but very, very posh and bougie. You've got all these kind of jams and spreads. £4.50 that little peanut butter was. That's ridiculous. But at least I know where to go if I want to get some stem ginger now. These things are always in here. And they are very, very overpriced. I don't understand why you would come to here for milk when you've got shops just down the road that sell it for half the price. But I suppose if you're coming to get your posh bits, it's worth it. Now, they've got the posh alcohols in here as well. And I was tempted by some of those gins. They looked really, really good. But again, they were very, very pricey. We headed outside to look for actual plants in the garden centre. And there were some, again, they were very Christmassy themed, but there were some bits and bobs outside, some plants outside, some trees outside, and a few shrubs. And at the very back there, you can see Santa's grotto. It is looking a little bit sad because the tinsel has fallen off, but I would presume that they noticed that and put it back up before people started arriving to see the big man, because, like I said, he is a very expensive Santa to visit, but it's very worth visiting him. You can see the construction going on where they're building a new housing estate just across the way there. But as we were walking through, we could see some plants and some garden ornaments as well. Although there wasn't as much as usual because they've made space for Christmas things, including this one, which is a bit of me, if I'm honest. I did like him. But the main reason that we came outside was to see the reindeer. I had to wait for ages and ages for the children to clear the space, but here are Frost's reindeer. But again, I couldn't film that for very long because as soon as I pressed the button, hordes of children arrived. So we went to have a look at the real Christmas trees. I love a real Christmas tree, but these were like 75 quid and I just can't justify that. We considered getting a coffee at the garden centre because they've got a cute little cafe, but it was so crowded for a weekday. So we decided at that point to just head on back home. Jingle, 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 jingle all the way. So I hope that you enjoyed walking around Frost's with me and didn't find it as tedious as my husband did. I got a lot of good ideas for my Christmas decorations. Whether I'm going to be able to pull off recreating them or not on a budget, I'm not sure, but it's always fun to have a try. I do like a Christmas craft. Join me next week for my next vlog. I think I am going to be showing you what I got for my Secret Santa this year. Really excited for them to open it. I really hope that they like it. And I got a bit creative with it. So I wanted to show you guys that. But that will, I promise, be the very last Christmas video that I make you sit through for this year. If you can't wait till Monday to see me again, I will be here every single morning in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for that day. Sometimes I let you know what's challenging me as well, and we are at a challenging time of year at the moment, so you do get me moaning occasionally. And I'm also here on a Witchy Wednesday doing an intuitive tarot card reading your shorts as well. If you want a longer, more personalised reading from me, I do those as well through my Ko-fi, so you can always book me on there if you want me to do a reading that is just for you. Until then though, you have yourself a magical week.